ITP 253, Task 6, Assignment Number 3, Drunk Driving Friend.
Well, one day, when I was in college, I never thought it would happen to me again. On February 12th, 1999, I met a friend at a house, who came to my house for the weekend. We had an awesome time. We went and visited all the friends. And about 11 at night, he went home, and we were chatting, and a friend came and announced to the house, and he entered, and he's like, he knocked, and I said, hey, what's up? He said, there's a lot of people here, there's a lot of alcohol. I said, no, it's emergency, come on, you need to try. You need to come to my house. Why do I need to come to your house? It's an emergency, please go. And I said, no, I don't want to go. I have a friend over, please, no. And so we argued back and forth. What about your friend? He said, no. No, I don't want to go. So I kept saying no. He was drunk, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he got all angry. What are you doing? You need to go to house and explain. And I really didn't want to go. You mean he's drunk and he had to go to the hospital? It's a joke. And I was like, no, he died. Are you trying to make an alarm or what? And the other friend came along, he came knocking, he entered, he was angry, and he looked around, and there were people looking around. That was my friend. And so it was about 3 o'clock at the school, and at the college we went out, and it's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, what? You guys are all drinking? What's up with that? Why are you guys drinking? How or what? And so then we all got in my car, and we're driving, and he explained, he's like, about 3 a.m. we were driving, and suddenly we got hit. We found that there were 3 of us. One was, and so they called the cops and everything. The second guy didn't want to drive. He was tired. It was warm weather out, and they were cold too, and then I looked up, and I'm like, how beautiful it was. And there was a cute baby there, and there was a family, and everybody was happy. And on February 12th, everybody came in and they were like, hi, from the house. there was a party, and everyone's like, okay, let's go drink. And then we went to the restaurant. And everybody's excited and having a good time, and then the other boy came along, and they both went and left together. And they went left. And they were very drunk, and they needed help walking, and so they allowed him to go, and they poked me on the shoulder, and like they were walking around, and the bartender had played some loud music, and they turned around and they said, "You guys going or what?" And then they had gotten pretty drunk about that time, and so they ran, and then everyone was upset, and everyone was yelling, and then finally they were finished, and there were people on the ground, and they were hurt, and some people had died, and they'd been drinking, and out in the bodies were just laying there, and we didn't want to leave the bodies or people who died, so we covered them up. We didn't know what to do. And there was an interpreter for us deaf people there. They had to show proof and everything. And then finally online they had people to inform us about this different things. And people are upset. I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. A friend, they went online, they're finished. And people were angry, and they were talking all amongst themselves. And they were about a couple of 20-year-olds who were there, and they were drunk, and they were wondering what to do. And a couple hours later, they had a couple of drinks in their system, and then they drove. And they were serving all over the place, and that they knew they were making a big mistake. And they were off. And they kept driving. And the father was hit. And they made a phone call later. And they had to wait. And the cops finally showed up. And then suddenly the cops showed up, and they were wondering what happened. I'm like, oh, okay, They met, and they talked about what had happened. And I said, please help me. Help with watching. They went to a party, and they didn't know what to. They drank a lot. They asked us important questions on what had happened. They picked out the people. And then a couple weeks later, they finally asked us more questions, and then there was an investigation. They had contacted people's parents. And then there was They want to know who the father of the baby was. There was a 4-year-old child here, and I understand you grow up with them, and they have to go through a lot, and I thank them all. And then everything was busy, and then first all the family needed to go to high school, and they were a deaf family. And then the family needed to graduate. And then someone mentioned how that they had died and everybody felt sad. And their baby died a while ago. They had two separate family members who had died, including their father and the baby. And 5 minutes later, a lot of people had helped them. And all because people were at a party and were drinking. And then they chose to drive. Just remember that, no matter how many drinks that you've had, you still drink. You can spend 6 months in the jail just because of one drink and you chose to drive. It's an important message. My father was killed, and he went to jail. You want that? I think people should learn not to drive. It's important to know that because it affects other people's lives. You should be educated about drinking and driving, and people can die.